Hello, this is the jury charge and literary portion of the 100 class. We're going to start off with some Latin and French words, and then I'm going to read a paragraph regarding those words. So first I will give you a word list. You're going to hear femme sole, femme covert. You're going to hear actio in personam, and you're going to hear damnum absque injuria. Okay, ready? Actio in personam is a civil action that is directed toward a specific person. An action brought to impose a personal liability on a person is actio in personam. Any loss which is non-recoverable in a court of law is damnum absque injuria. The mere fact that a person sustains a loss does not mean that his legal rights have been violated or damnum absque injuria. Femme sole is actually a French phrase meaning single woman. Femme sole also includes divorced and widowed women. A financial judgment may be awarded in actio in personam. An action where no redress is affordable is damnum absque injuria. A married woman is femme covert and not femme sole. Okay, I have a fun or interesting origin for you. Fun fact for the day. Here we go. Gary Heaven ran a chain of gyms in Texas in the 1970s, but it went bankrupt. A few years later, Heaven started over, but this time he decided to focus on a different market. Women in their 40s and 50s had told him that they didn't like gyms because they were intimidating, filled with ogling men and younger women who were already fit. So in 1992, Heaven and his wife Diane opened the first Curves for women in Harlingen, Texas. Only women could join, and it offered only one fitness plan, created by Heaven. The customer rotates around exercise stations, for example, treadmill, bike, stretches, weights, etc., switching every 30 seconds. 3 circuits of all these stations total a 30-minute workout. Today, there are more than 10,000 Curve locations. All right. I've got some legal terms and then a paragraph for you. You're going to hear client, legal, proceeding, lawsuit, litigant, action, defendant, litigation, writ, party, plaintiff, versus, command, due, process, entitled. Here we go. A client employs an attorney to represent him in a legal proceeding or for legal advisement. The client who starts the legal proceeding is known as the plaintiff. The party charged in an action is known as the defendant. The plaintiff and defendant are entitled to due process. A party to a lawsuit may be referred to as the litigant. The word versus means against. Versus is normally abbreviated in running text to lowercase v period. On the majority of transcript cover sheets, and title pages, the letters VS period are used. In a legal proceeding, the plaintiff's name is first, followed by the defendant's name. For example, Smith versus Jones. Smith is the plaintiff and Jones is the defendant. In a criminal case, the plaintiff is referred to as the people of the state of, followed by the name of the state in which the proceeding is tried. The legal proceeding may be referred to as the suit or the litigation. A writ is a written command issued by a court requiring some action. Okay. I have some technical material for you. I'm going to read this once at 80 and then again at 100. And it's one paragraph long. You're going to hear construction, replacement, circuit, attention, breakers. Here we go. Ready? A heavy-duty dump truck needs to be a tough partner in heavy construction jobs. Possible trouble areas need extra attention to help cut the downtime. The dashboard in the cab is designed so that the gauges and switches can be removed from the front. This gives quick and easy replacement in the field and avoids a trip to the shop. Circuit breakers are mounted next to the steering for easy access. There is no loose wiring behind the dashboard. The wiring has been placed in grooves to the rear of the dashboard. Okay, now I'm going to read the same paragraph, but at 100 words per minute. Okay, ready? A heavy-duty dump truck needs to be a tough partner in heavy construction jobs. Possible trouble areas need extra attention to help cut down the downtime. The dashboard in the cab is designed so that the gauges and switches can be removed from the front. This gives quick and easy replacement in the field and avoids a trip to the shop. Circuit breakers are mounted next to the steering for easy access. There is no loose wiring behind the dashboard. The wiring has been placed in grooves to the rear of the dashboard. Okay. Going to read some literary for you. Here we go. Ready? The next night, when I got off the bus after my long drive home, I saw color on our fire escape. Jimmy, home early from his teaching job at a nearby high school, had wrapped pale blue lights up and down the black railings. They winked at me. Inside the apartment, the table was set, and I smelled soup. Jimmy, I called, as we hugged. I looked over his shoulder at the coffee table. What happened to my angel? What? The angel? Little Megan was here earlier with Andy. They were on their way to pick up a pizza and stopped by to say hello. She really loved the angel, and I wanted to give her something to play with. I put down my purse. So you gave her my angel? You just handed over to your best friend's daughter the angel my mother gave me when I was a little girl without even asking me? He looked stunned. I didn't know your mother gave it to you. Anyway, it was chipped, and we have so much stuff. Jimmy, I can't believe you did that. I was too hurt, too angry, to be reasonable or to realize that Jimmy had acted with kindness and that such a mistake could have happened made by anyone. I've had that angel since first grade. I'm sorry, I didn't know. You never told me. His eyes dimmed, and the laugh lines around them crinkled down, not up. I'm sure we can get it back. Andy will understand. Where is my phone? I will call him right now. I followed him to his cell phone and sat down next to him as he dialed the number. I listened to him explain, then watched his face grow pale at Andy's response. What? I asked. What is he saying? He told me to wait, said goodbye, then hung up the phone. He looked like a little boy who had broken a china plate and was afraid to tell his mother. Sarah, I can't believe this. Megan lost the angel somewhere between the pizza parlor and the car. Andy tried to find it as soon as he realized Megan didn't have it, but he shrugged his shoulders. I blinked back tears. Jimmy, I loved that angel. Sarah, listen. Maybe it's not lost yet. Maybe Andy missed it. We can go and look right now. Okay. I'm going to give you some literary from, actually it's going to be Jury Charge. Okay. All right. Here we go. So we have a first settlement in January of 2008. That was the 300,000 or the 40,000, I believe. 320,000. So that was actually settled and paid off in January. All right. Well, it was agreed to be settled. All right. A portion of it was paid for. Interest at 4.5%. And the declaration of the respondent shows that was fully paid off in December. And I have all the figures if the court is interested. But I think the court is touching upon an important area here, and that where I disagree with the court would be on the burden of going forward with the issue that the court is discussing, which is the notice and the opportunity to participate in the settlement negotiations and perhaps even the defense of these class actions and the litigation that erupted out of the United States National Bank. We feel that, as important as the court may feel that it is, that no other correspondence went out other than the letter. We think it is important that the letter was not responded to, and the evidence will show that. The evidence will also show through Mr. Simpson and Mr. Baker that no attempt was made by Mrs. Baker or by any of her attorneys to inquire, to contact, to attempt to examine the file, as far as we know, the evidence will show no contact was made with the attorneys for any of the other parties in the underlying litigation. We find that it is rather unusual for the petitioner to come to court saying she didn't have the opportunity, as their belief says, or ever the notice, as their brief says, of these actions, when she had been on notice of them, and further on notice, clear and unmistakable notice, that the respondent was attempting to charge his exposure and attorney's fees to the community. Now, I think the burden at that point would shift. Okay? When are we shifting? December or September? Or September of 2007? I think the burden really shifts, in my opinion, when she has notice of the claims. I think, at this point, she can make a decision. I pose this, Your Honor, and take into consideration what I had to say. And please think about my client, Your Honor. Okay, I've got some material on licenses. Okay, here we go. Ready? The formal permission granted by the local, state, or federal government to engage in a stated occupation or to carry on certain business activities is called a license. The two main purposes for requiring licenses are to collect taxes and to protect the public. Licenses are required for many professions, such as doctors, lawyers, and accountants. Licenses are required in many businesses. For example, liquor stores, insurance companies, and drug stores. Skilled practitioners, such as barbers, electricians, pilots, and plumbers, need licenses to conduct their affairs. The penalty for operating without a license or valid permit varies from state to state. Many states, in addition to charging a license fee for skilled practitioners, have developed proficiency licensing examinations. These examinations require the applicant to meet certain standards of expertise in their selected field before a license will be granted. Okay, that concludes our jury charge in literary for the 100 class. Have a great day.